Hello, everybody. Welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble and on Patreon Access support. Any kind of updates and the such, I usually go about on Twitter X. Yesterday, I did manage to publish the Chains of Freedom demo gameplay. A very interesting game, turn-based battles, kind of a mix between XCOM and Mutiny Zero. Those twists that they introduced there in that game, very interesting. And again, I just want to remind everybody that if you have an AMD GPU and you are suffering from a lot of stuttering on the game, independently of what kind of settings you are getting around, I do propose here probably what it can be a final solution for that for the moment until the game gets patched up. Here on the video, again, I will leave this on the description below this video so you can check out and maybe solve your issue if you have an AMD GPU. I will also, as a reminder, put there some things that might be, but probably do a pinned comment. I think it's easier for the information that it is, which is after I solve this, I've been having a lot of crashes from 5 minutes to 10 minutes to half an hour out of nowhere. The game just freezes, and then it's not even a crash. They basically freeze the game, and let's hang up there. That there is a way of going about it with instead of using the DirectX 12 API, using the DirectX 11. There might be some hit in the performance, but it's not noticeable, at least at the settings that I'm using. I don't notice any kind of hit in terms of performance there. And the game seems to run pretty smoothly in DirectX 11 API there. I will leave a pinned comment there on that video so people can guide themselves on that situation. Again, we hope that this is patched out, but until then, it's a solution that you might want to check if it goes for you. And then I got the gaming series. I got Still Jussin, which I will be continuing next week. And then we got the completed ones, 4K, the most recent ones, 1080p, the most older ones. So let's go to the news. It's similarly AMD, to a certain degree, it's kind of a good news for AMD and bad news for NVIDIA, but all around not good news or terrible news for consumers. Again, the fact that AMD is failing to deliver basically even lower end SKUs of the 9070 XT in terms of MSRP pricing, it's something that it's been showed up since it launched again, and I think there is like two main factors for this. One of them is the fact that NVIDIA launch of the 50 series, especially the between the 5080 and the 5070 Ti and 5070. Again, it's a shit show. A lot of issues, a lot of software issues, and some hardware issues. Again, the miss ROPs, not burning connectors with this, but a lot of it has to do with the monitor setups, multi-monitor setups. Again, a lot of people have a lot of issues with the NVIDIA stuff there, and the fact that there is also no, basically no stock on sale. Even if people want to buy them, again, the fact that there is not a lot of stock, the prices are creep up because there is certain demand for the product itself, but because they don't have stock, again, prices increases. But in the case of Nvidia, is stupidly high, like double, triple the price in some instances, depending on the GPU, of course. And regarding AMD, is the competition of in terms of GPU 9070 XT is a pretty solid card in terms of 4K performance if it is priced, especially at MSRP, and even if some SKUs, if you're going $100 above that, you can't try to justify given the market conditions. Um, but yeah, there is stock for those cards. But it's the fact that a lot of people want this card, so there is also again a lot of demand, but there is still offer in that case. But again, because people that want Nvidia cannot find any of those, and then the price that it's so high that cannot be justified if you manage to buy one of those. If there is stock, they turn to AMD. AMD has a decent competition in terms of 4K gaming at relatively supposedly MSRP pricing. But because a lot of people now going for AMD, again, and the fact that the Nvidia prices are so high, Nvidia, or at least the retailers, will try to match the price in terms of price to performance difference between what there is on the market. And because they have they have plenty of stock, at least it seems that I don't think there is like lack of stock of the 9070 XTs. They can basically do this game, which is creep up the prices a little bit more, because the competition basically doesn't have a product to compete with, and when you can find that product is stupidly high prices, so they can play around with that. And I think that's what's basically happening. Again, there are going to be always some kind of justification, especially at this moment in time, which is the tariff stuff there, especially on the US market. But from what we know, GPU manufacturers and AIBs, they were already preparing for this tariff imposure, so they tried to stock up as many GPUs that they could. And I don't think that the imports that these new GPUs is happening at this moment in time to uh, to an extent that can reflect that those tariffs, let's say, in the current pricing. But yeah, it's a tough spot here for consumers. Again, I continue with my opinion that again, 9070 XT at MSRP or very close to, like, I don't know, depending again on SQ of that GPU, depending on the model. Let's say it's if it is like the top tier GPU, if it is around 100, maybe $150 above the MSRP, you can try to justify if the performance uplift of that model is good enough. But yeah, at MSRP will be a good deal, maybe $50 give or take, depending there. Again, it will depend on the model, but it performs very well in terms of 4K. In some instances, it outperforms, again, in specific scenarios, outperforms almost the 4090 to a certain degree, depending on the case. But yeah, it's a shame that you cannot find MSRP prices for the GPUs on the newer models. As an alternative, there is some decent, especially from AMD side, in terms of good price to performance. Usually the 7800 XT is a good value, usually at the prices that are at this moment in time. Again, I'm not following up on those prices, but from what I've been reading, 7800 XT, and even in some cases the 7900 XT can be a good deal if you snag it for around 60 to 60 $650. It performs very well still at 4K. But yeah, there is some alternatives. I don't recommend at this point in time a secondhand market, unless you know the person and you trust that person, which is something very rare, or if there is any kind of, I think, Java or whatever it is, usually they can confirm that the GPU that is being sold is the GPU that is being sold. Or if you want to take a chance, for example, on eBay, just put the insurance of that business on, if you have the possibility to do so, because if something goes wrong, you can do the return and get refunded there. Because there's been a lot of scams of, we heard like 4090s passing through like 5090s, GPUs that being sold in secondhand that don't have the memory modules there. Again, a lot of stuff, a lot of shenanigans happening in the secondhand market, and I really, especially 40 series, 50 series, which are the most wanted ones per se. There's been a lot of scams there, even in reputable, let's say, reputable secondhand market sites like eBay and the such. But yeah, other than that, I don't know what to tell you. Depending on the budget and depending on what to play, and as usual, if at this moment in time the games that you're playing have decent performance, just don't go for the FOMO, fear of missing out anything new. Again, if it is performing well, just keep your GPU, and hopefully by the summer we'll start getting a little bit of decreasing prices on the GPUs there. But yeah, this is what I got in terms of hardware. In terms of games, got something interesting. We got a narrative-driven kind of detective game with some shooting mechanics similar to Max Payne. The art style is very interesting, kind of noir style. It's got some animals and the such there. Again, I don't care too much about that as long as the characters are interesting. But the shooting mechanics, again, from the studio, the game seems interesting. It's a smaller studio. It's kind of those detective stuff there. I think they're trying to, or they were inspired by Ellen Noir, the game, in terms of the interrogation tactics. Then you got some stealth mechanics there from the trailer, the shooting stuff with the slow mo coming from Max Payne. Again, I'm not sure about the story, what it's going to do, but supposedly it's something that you will start with, I don't know, a murder or something like that, a crime that you start pulling the thread, and it will lead to like a super big conspiracy there inside the game. But yeah, very interesting. I already put it on my wish list to see. Again, we never know. We've been hitting with some excellent surprises here and there from smaller developers. So it's one of those that I will try to keep tabs to see if it is going to be a good game or not. But yeah, it might be something that you might interested and put on your wish list there. Then yesterday we got Elden Ring Nightreign. We got the yesterday or 2 days ago. I don't remember. Sorry. I know I watched this. And I wanted to cover today, which is an overview trailer. It's like a 10-minute trailer, but basically gives you the basics of what the game is and what it's going to try to do. So you can, again, I think it clears a lot of doubts that people have. Again, they didn't go into one of the more, I don't know, key points that people uh, usually go about, but they already leave that clear, which is no microtransactions, none of those things. At least officially, they didn't announce anything like that. But they go about what the characters are, what you are supposed to do each time you delve into each mission, and again, they give again an overview of the kind of not all classes, it seems. I think there are eight starting classes, but they went only about six or seven, if not mistaken. But again, it gives you a pretty good idea what the game is really about. If you have any doubts, and I think it might be a good clarification trailer for you if you are interested in this kind of games. Again, this is more co-op stuff there, even though it can be played solo. I might be taking a chance here on the solo stuff. I usually don't like co-op or multiplayer stuff there as much as single player games, but probably I will give it a try one of these days. I don't know. I got a lot of stuff on my backlog to go for before doing this, but yeah, you can check it out. And again, if you're interested, it's one of those clear some doubts kind of a trailer there. And then last we got official confirmation of a delay of GTA 6. Yesterday I covered something regarding the Xbox prices and a lot of pricing. There was some also Borderlands 4 stuff that they anticipated like a couple of weeks the launch of the game. Again, it's not a game that I'm interested. Doesn't pique my interest in what it tries to do. Seems a little bit bland. I thought the first and the second, I think, were interesting what they're trying to do, but now it turns that Borderlands 4 is still delving on the past. I don't think they're trying to do anything interesting there. But yeah, given that they are from the same publisher, 2K. Yeah, in 2K, Rockstar is from 2K, if not mistaken. But yeah, now we got official confirmation that is being delayed because the at least the rumors. I don't think they ever confirm any launch date, but the rumors were like September or between September and November this year. In terms of the launch, the industry was very worried about launches of games in that period of time. But supposedly, we got confirmation that at least for consoles, again, PC, I think it's going to be delayed. It's going to come 26 May next year. Again, they announced this. I suppose that they were planning to launch this winter, but uh, yesterday, last year we got the leaks that I think somebody managed to hack 2K and Rockstar servers, and there was a lot of leaks at the time. We got a couple, one trailer at least from GTA 6. Again, this game is so uh, it's one of those things. It's so big, trying to do so many stuff that I'm not even. I don't have a lot of interest, and also the fact that I think it lost a little bit of the spice that they had especially between GTA 3, 4 with Nico Belletti. GTA 5, I never played. I missed that boat. Probably I will play one of these days for at least for the story to see how it goes. But usually Rockstar does launch the games in a very polished way in terms of gameplay systems. Usually, my main worry is that probably they will tone down a lot. Again, it's always been one of those IPs that a lot of people clamor that it incites everything and nothing regarding behaviors of players. Um, but yeah, my main worry is that this game, the story might be serviceable, but the tone and the satire and the dark humor that GTA was well known for, it might be going away with this entry of the franchise. And that's a huge risk because similarly, at this moment in time, according to some rumors, the production budget of this game is going around about almost $2 billion, which it's a little bit hard to believe, but you never know. This game is being developed for some time now, and the fact that again, Rockstar usually tries to. I think they have a huge team there. Again, I'm not surprised if you're going to $2 billion as a production budget, but it's a very big budget, and I think it's one of the reasons people are saying that the game has to be $100. My response to this is no. You just need to tone down and drop the values of those production budgets. I cannot comprehend how a game can cost $2 billion to make. Even it can be the best game of all time forever. It doesn't justify $2 billion in production budget. Um, we saw a lot of again, and the fact that the production budget doesn't correlate to quality of a game. We got the examples from Concords and all of those kind of games that cost between 5 to $800 million. Got Skull and Bones was a game was in development hell for 10 years or so, and it cost estimates between $850 million. So doesn't mean that this game is going to be bad, but it doesn't automatically mean that the fact that supposedly they are spending $2 billion to make this game, that it's going to be an automatic win and game of the year and all that jazz. um, yeah, I also don't understand why people are so worried about the launch of this game. If I was the AAA industry, I will be a little bit more worried with the smaller developers launching excellent games. Got the most recent example with Clair Obscure Expedition 33, even though we had a shadow drop from Oblivion Remaster and a lot of AAA games that coming out. We've been seeing a lot of indie games coming up and about and kick ass in terms of sales regarding those bigger publishers there. I will be more worried about that than waiting for the GTA 6 to come out, because those are the ones that are stealing your sales. Because the game as it is, GTA, given that it's a very known well IP, it always sells. So I don't think there is something that need to be worried about it too much. It could come out tomorrow or whatever. Again, the smaller developers that are coming with taking some chances and the stories that they want to try to tell, with trying to innovate in some gameplay mechanics, innovative stories, how to explore characters, and delivering usually a pretty tight experience in terms of performance wise and optimization wise. They are less buggy and less dramatic sorry, not stance, in the less dramatic state than the AAA development teams are being launching their games. Again, I will be more worried about those little guys, the underdogs, than these big guys, because big guys will always do some splash in the market there. But yeah, this is the official announcement that the game will come up in May 26th. Let's wrap up here with some gaming deals. Not much happening there for me to cover more. We still have Dark Souls. The free Dark Souls games are 50% off. So Dark Souls Remastered, Dark Souls 2, Souls of the Scholar of the First Sin, which is as all the DLC here. We got Dark Souls 3 plus the DLC. I do recommend the deluxe edition. The Ring City and Ashes of Verniandel, it's are excellent expansions here, and it's also 50% off. Again, it's rare, and I think it's well worth the buy there. And then you got Dredge, still digital deluxe edition is on sale, 40% off, which is a good deal there. We got Forza Horizon 5. For all intents and purposes, I still think this is still one of the better racing games. Got all the editions for around about 50% off. We got 40% off on Liza P. We still have a day or so until the promotion ends. We got 50% on Miasma Chronicles. There is a bundle with Mutineer Zero Road to Eden in terms of the bundles, and I think the Mutineer Zero is also on sale, if not mistaken. But this is on my library. I just went through my wish list here. But there is a bundle 50% off. Again, this is not the price here. But yeah, I think Mutineer Zero at a sale is an excellent choice, and this one is kind of the spiritual successor of that one. Then you got Okami HD, 50% off also. We got Pacific Drive. The deluxe edition is 40% off. Then you got Resident Evil franchise. Again, it's still on sale. I will leave it all the Resident Evil games there for you to check out and pick and choose to complete the collection there. Then we got the Invincible. Um, Jesus, sorry. The Invincible, 40% off, narrative driven, similar like Firewatch, kind of seems a pretty excellent narrative experience. And then last we got the Thaumaturge, kind of detective game, isometric view, turn-based battle, but I think this one focused a little bit more on the detective side of things there than anything else. Yeah, basically that's it. I completely forgot to bring up my Patreon page there, but that's okay. I will leave it here on the main page of the channel. Again, just a quick reminder that I got the a probable fix if you're having any issues with the AMD GPUs on Expedition 33. Hopefully, it will also helps you out the same way it helped me. But yeah, I'm going to wrap up here. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. So until then, Kunami Master out.